Bridges, who are your top 5 MCs personally?
Pac, Nas, Jay, Red, Ice Cube.
That's an interesting list because let me tell you what you just said. Go through your top 5 again. Going by one. Pac is realism through emotion and truth telling. Go ahead. Nas is poetic rhythm and poetry, giving the streets a voice and an identity. Jay-Z's hustler talk. You're a businessman. Kind of works together. Next.
Redman.
Lyricism, technique, and exposure. Next.
Ice Cube.
Hood mentality and street knowledge, which means you know how to fight the system from outside of the system and represent your people. Am I correct? Ooh, I'm a nice motherfucker at this, don't you think? But the thing is, your top 5, every man's favorite is a characteristic of their personality. What made those 5 MCs D Bridges and not D Bridges into those 5 MCs?
I can say with Tupac, I learned a lot from him. Like, in a sense, some of the music that he made reminded me of myself. And certain shit I went through, like what he went through with his mother, with her addiction problem, I went through similar stuff. With Nas was the, bar heavy, lyrics, dope concepts, different ideas. Like when I heard the song, I Gave You Power.
Classic.
It Was Written.
Classic.
That song blew me away and I was like, damn, I need to write something like this. So it kind of, Jay, it pretty much gave me the sense of trying to, be a businessman as well as an artist. Redman just a nice motherfucker. ain't no other way I could put it. I ain't never really heard a corny Redman verse.
That's nice. That
was actually like, yo, let me skip this. I heard some that was the dopest Redman verse, but it wasn't no, alright, I'm gonna skip over it though. And Ice Cube, to me, he just one of the greatest, but very underrated.
Interesting. Okay. For most people, they would put Biggie in their top 5. Why would you not?
Because honestly, in my opinion, Biggie was overrated.
What overrated him to you?
He didn't stand the test of time. And people could say, yo, he was only 25. Pac was only 25, but look what he did with those 25 years.
That's unfair, and you can't say that. Because when Biggie's first album came out, Pac had 2 or 3 albums out already. So he was more seasoned. So your age doesn't dictate your seasoning.
But that's the argument everybody say. Oh, he died at 25.
I wouldn't have that argument with you. I would come at you. I would come to you with this though. Biggie does stand the test of time because when you look at the scope of the game in which he came out, if it wasn't for Nas, Biggie, and Wu-Tang, we would never have heard East Coast music the way we heard it. So that's a good conversation for later. Maybe we'll do that on the mic council. I'll invite you to it. Yeah, Steve, what about you? Who's your top 5 MCs?
I hate when people ask me this question, yo.
Great. So who are they?
Nah, because the way I do, I don't have a typical. I have a personal top 5, but I don't.
That's what I want. Your personal top 5.
I mean,
and they're subject to change.
Yeah,
but that's
I break it down by era. That's the thing. Like I have a top 5 for each era, but
since we're not doing that, what is your personal top 5? That's way too long.
In no particular order. We got.
That's corny. Come on.
You want me to do that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Nah, it's cool. Just give me a top 5. It's cool.
Got you. So we got Biggie.
Okay.
We got Jay on there. We got Nas. This is always tough because Kendrick has impacted me in a way that a 90s artist would. So I'm gonna put him up there. What else? Who else? Move him up there.
You got one more.
I'm putting it together. Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Kendrick. You just told me something about yourself. We're gonna talk about it on camera.
It's just damn. Like, and we're not talking lyricists, right? We're just talking about all.
This is your top 5.
All right. So for me, Ye from 2012 on is a different person.
Kanye.
We do not count that. We do not count that.
No. Kanye is your last one. That made my point, and I know who you are.
I do want to clarify.
So tell me if I'm wrong. No, too late.
I do want to clarify.
No,
2012 on I'm not counting that. But I'm counting before that. Basically, his last album to me was Dark Twisted Fantasy. And
So
that's his last album.
you're doing pre-porn star Kanye. No problem.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Stephen Live is the child that always wanted to have the attention to show that he mattered. Am I correct? Because everybody that you said has some type of ego in their music. Yeah, I got that.
Even I got ego in my music. I'm not gonna lie about
Make
that.
that song. So I'm alright. Check this out, Bridges. Based on his top 5 list, he has to make music that makes you feel and that is music that matters, right? Based on your top 5, you have to have music that talks to your soul, that makes you see rather than realize. I love hip hop. Because guess what? Other genres of music don't make people do that even though you can feel it. Like me, I hate R&B. Worst music ever. Okay? See how serious she got? I'm trying to get on this interview. R&B is the worst music ever, and I'm gonna tell you why.
My chest.
Motown is not R&B. That's soul music.
Soul music.
70s era is still soul music. When we got into the animatronics and roboticness of 80s music, that's when hip hop started to change. So it was a big deal when Rakim did Friends with Jody Watley, right? When we get to Michael Jackson, they try to turn that into pop. So they split R&B. See what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give you my mind so you know what I mean. I say that, right? It wasn't until about 1990 after Jagged Edge, hip-hop became, R&B became hip-hop. Because every goddamn singer looked like he was on the block. Am I lying? I think the last singer that tried to be non-hip-hop was Cisco, and that's when he wore a thong and colored his hair platinum. See, bad memory. See. And nowadays, when you see people who do hip-hop, either they look like they from the block or they got tight-ass clothes on and they name themselves after clothes, like pink sweats. See? So like me, hip-hop, no matter what generation you're in, you can feel and relate. If I'm sorry about your heritage hip-hop, but if a little nigga wearing tight clothes saying about how he loves somebody, I don't really want to hear that shit. Because I can't relate to it. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like I said this on another show, I don't like to hear R&B because I don't think a man can sing to me. I don't want to hear that shit. You see what I'm saying? And with hip hop, every generation can talk about the same thing because the struggle is still real. The most asinine thing I ever heard was Tupac was a prophet. That's some bullshit. Oh, look at his face. I love it.
I'm not making a face because I disagree with you.
Good.
I don't think he was a prophet. I think he was more of a revolutionist than anything.
Cool. Great point. But I heard people argue Pac was a prophet. I was like, to who? You know what I'm saying? Prophet like Bible or prophet like money? What are you talking about? And they're like, nah, Pac told the truth. He predicted the future. And I'm like, no, he motherfucking didn't. It just means we never evolved to get past the things that had to change. Yeah. And that's what gets me so upset with hip hop today.
I can see why they say that, because a lot of music that he made 25 years ago is relevant 25 years later, and it's some of the stuff is happening more so than ever. So then
that means that's shame on us rather than glorifying him. Because if I tell you one day, don't go to that tree, it's poisonous if you eat from it, and everybody keep going to the tree, and I die, and they be like, yo, he was right. You go to that tree, word is born, but they never cut down the tree. And people keep going. They be like, he said that 500 years ago, don't go to the tree. That doesn't make you a prophet. That just means motherfuckers is ignorant. Keep it real with you. And that's the one thing about what you said about genres of hip hop that makes hip hop alive today. Hip hop is a certain genre that lives on because the pain does not stop. I think when people of color stop feeling pain, I think hip hop would die. It would have to evolve into something else. Because the day that Dear Mama is like, oh, that's old shit, we don't listen to that no more, you know a lot has changed in the world, right? When the greatest rap song anthem of all time, Fight the Power by Public Enemy, no matter how old you are, racism exists. Shout out to the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. Racism exists. So when you hear Fight the Power, it still makes you think, damn, how come my heroes ain't on those stamps? Damn, how come I gotta go to Facebook to learn black history instead of learning it in school? Right? Hip hop is that which teaches the world us, and we make the world better. What is the most meaningful message you got from hip hop that you give to your audience? You know, the pause of his face.
Best thing I can say is I got from hip hop that I can give to my audience is the fact that you gotta give him your story because you never know what somebody else might be going through.
Facts.
Like he might hear a song I did about something I'm going through with one of my baby mamas, and he'd be like, "Yo, that's the dopest song I ever heard because I'm going through that shit with my baby mother right now." You know, so when I feel like this, when you create music, you gotta be able to, you know, have a background behind it, have a story behind it, because I always tell certain artists that if you don't have a story to tell, you're not gonna be able to make music too long. Prime example, like an artist like Designer, he was able to do Panda, but what could he rap about after that?
Nothing. He could do voiceovers though.
Exactly.
Nothing.
You
But shout out to the baby mamas, because at the end of the day,
shut up.
At the end of the day, if it wasn't for the world famous Abraham story, we would not have the Muslim-Jew conflict today, thanks to a baby mama. I'm sorry. I just had to get that shout out. It's just a lesson. What about you, Steve? What lesson do you get?
It's I mean, I feel like it's all complicated. I keep saying it's complicated. I sound like a broken record, but
that's your truth. That's what's up. Speaking.
Cause if I had to like break down a message from just a singular rapper, my favorite new school rappers, they're not even that new no more. Actually, they've been around for like a decade. But like Cole and Kendrick,
They were considered old school now, wouldn't they? I don't think so, right?
I wouldn't say old school.
They still considered not new,
relevant.
They relevant.
Okay.
That's for sure. The way I see it, cause like personally, I'm not a huge Pac fan. Do I know he has classics? Are there classics that I enjoy? Yeah.
Yes.
But I went through his whole discography, and I think he was nice. His flow was lit. And his message, I feel like his messages will really shine through rather than the actual quality of his music. I think his impact is what really shine through, because I may not be a huge Pac fan. I wouldn't be the rapper I am today without Pac. Cole and Kendrick have both acknowledged that their biggest influences were Pac.
Word.
And Cole and Kendrick are my biggest influences. I would not be who I am today without Tupac. And Tupac wanted to change everything.
I agree.
One of his biggest hits was Changes. Like, he wanted to change things.
Word.
I would say the message that I would say is to change the world. Even if it's not the world, change your world. Because that can have probably a bigger impact than people realize.
Since Pac is the theme of this thing, I'm going to end this on a Pac question, but I'm going to flip it. Pac's biggest impact on hip-hop was not music, though. Pac was the first artist to successfully bridge hip-hop to other genres and mix with other people who were not hip-hop. The simple fact that the industry did their best to not have him be with Janet Jackson showed you that. She got with Q-Tip, but when Pac wanted to just chill with her, oh no, you can't, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, because didn't he say he had to take an AIDS test for the kissing scene?
Yeah, for poetic justice, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Pac had good music. Bar-wise, he was cool, but beats-wise, I think he could have better beats.
But same thing with Nas. I think Nas
same thing. But
sucks.
see, Nas picked some beats that are pretty,
Questionable.
And he says he does that on purpose for the challenge, right making the song hot, which I get it. Everybody has their thing. My favorite Pac verse is the first verse from Smile with Scarface. That's his most truthful verse to me. But the realest thing Pac ever said to me, as a person who was I'm the original Pac fan. Fuck what everybody say. Let me tell you the truth. I believe that. I mean, we could argue over it. But I remember going to elementary school with Tupacalypse Now. They was like, who that? He corny. And I was like, cool. But look who he is now. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite thing Pac ever said to me was, Yo MTV Raps interview with Fat Five Freddy. And he said on the premiere of Juice, I gave America what America was scared of. I personified the inner city black male. You want a villain? I gave the world someone to hate. That Bishop is going to be the one that people are going to talk about forever, because he's going to be the personification of black rage in the inner city.
It's my favorite movie.
It's my favorite hip-hop movie of all time. Bishop is what changed hip-hop in the way where now Pac's influence wasn't just music. He took hip-hop to the mainstream big screen, to the point now that they even had to have an alternate ending where Bishop won. and he had to cut that out the movie because it was too controversial.
I just told her about that the other day.
See how the
seen
spirit
that.
works?
I never seen that alternate ending. That's
You
crazy.
never saw the anniversary of Juice where they had the alternate ending?
Never seen it.
Invest in it. It's very good.
Yeah. That's great.
Make yourself bigger than hip hop artists today. Where would you like to cross over and take your message so that it hits the world outside of music?
You talking like genre wise? Or you talking just like in general?
However you want it.
I would say like in my music, I do a lot of talking about my personal life. So I always say, if I don't sell 1 million records, if one person was to come to me and say, "Yo, that song you did, it changed my life," then I feel like I accomplished something.
So outside of music, you want to inspire the world by being a counselor.
Kind of, sort of, because everybody come to me with their problems anyway.
Okay, I respect that. That's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
So I respect that. Steve,
Yeah,
how about
I don't
you?
know why everybody talk to me about their problems, but
We could talk about that later. Really. Steve, how about you?
The phrase that comes to mind is keep it pushing, but like not in an overly simplified way. There's more layers to it. I would say be a leader and break down every barrier, because there's more to find out outside of your perspective. And the phrase keep it pushing means something to me because it means keep pushing through life, keep pushing the barriers, keep pushing people's train of thought. And to do that, you need to become a leader. There's not enough leaders in this world. There will never be more leaders than followers. But we can if we maximize that number and convert as many people as we can, then we got something going. So, yeah, the message, while simple as it may be, I would say keep it pushing.